I call the Township of Aleppo Commissioners meeting of March 17th, 2026 to order. Would everyone please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Roll call, Nicole.
President Luca,
Here.
Vice President Williams,
Here.
Commissioner Michael,
Present.
Commissioner Amatucci,
Present.
Solicitor George,
Present.
Manager Patterson, and Commissioner Jones. I'm so sorry. I went with last week's
I'm
list.
ghosted. I lose my chair, I lose my name.
That's it, you're out.
I saved the best for last.
Present.
Save.
Oh, are you running for office?
Good save.
Nice job, Nicole. As are all of our meetings, our meeting is recorded, it is streamed, and it remains on YouTube forever if anyone wants to access it, listen to it, etc. I would entertain a motion to approve the minutes of the March 9th meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. We discussed briefly at our last meeting the resolution to be included in the Allegheny County Community Development Block Grant Program, and I would entertain a motion as such.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion to adopt the resolution to be included in the Allegheny County Community Development Block Grant and Home Investment Partnership programs for 3 program years, 2028, 2029. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to reports. Chief.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
All right, for the month of February, we had a total of 60 calls, kind of busy for Aleppo. 35 of those were EMS calls, of course, the majority were Masonic, but not all. In addition to that, we had a few 911 hang-up calls, alarm calls, residential and business. Responded to domestic with 1 arrest out of that. 3 credit card frauds through 3 different individuals. So I would say if there's anything you can do for me is remain vigilant about your finances. I go over that often, but credit history checks on your credit cards and your just finances just to keep up with that, especially with the older community. Keeping on top of that kind of information is key for sure. Moving on with that, we've had a few suspicious person vehicle incidents that are on the report. One was an Uber driver waiting to pick somebody up. The other one, somebody got kicked out of a car and they were waiting for a ride, didn't know where they were at. But all that got cleared up along with several traffic warnings issued for speeding and some light infractions. Other than that, like I said, a total of 60 calls. That's all I have for the community today. Any questions or concerns for me?
To quote a famous person that sat in this chair, is there anything that we can do for you, sir?
Would you be permitted to give any details on the credit card fraud?
So I think 2 of them were opened up without their knowledge, and one was an unauthorized use of, perhaps, I don't know if it was a family member or whatever, but it was just an unauthorized use. So
Okay.
that's where I say the credit history checks can keep yourself in check of, what credit cards are open, which can be used, getting mailed to a different house, that kind of stuff. That way you can go back and even say, hey, I had a Zales credit card from 20 years ago. It'll be there, and if it's still open, it's open. You can call and cancel it. That way it negates any chances of that card being used for fraud, right? That way you can see if there's been anything opened up in your name and your social security number on those credit history checks.
But it's not as serious as I have your grandson give me your credit card number?
Not as serious as that, no, but the spectrum of fraud, it never ceases to amaze me, right? It is, $1 billion a year scams, what the amount of
I
loss.
just got hit for $600.
I'm sorry?
I just got hit for 2 $303 charges for global security
Yeah, it's,
out of nowhere.
It is amazing to me. There's sometimes, I know
My
that
bank
people
caught
say,
it.
yeah, your bank will catch it, but some people I know, the credit card's ordered in the mail, they didn't even get it to the house yet, and somehow that number's already used online to buy something.
Wow.
So, you know, what you can do is just remain vigilant about your personal finances. I go on and on about that every month, but it is very prevalent, again, with the older community, with everybody, but specifically the older community. And Masonic Village is a draw for this, so. Okay. Any other questions, concerns?
Thank you, Chief,
Thank
stay
you.
safe.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Emergency management remains without emergency. It is status quo. We are current. We are moving forward. Public Works.
For the past month, I have the report, it's in your packet, that Tim prepared. He did cut those pine tree branches at the end of Rockledge, like was talked about last month. Removed some deceased animals, managed some salt deliveries, cleaned up and serviced the backhoe, still waiting for another quote about the repair needed for the backhoe. Got the light bar installed, some new tires, walked some roads with engineers for paving, and then has done windstorm damage cleanup, and then they were out plowing yesterday. Surprise plowing, yes.
Okay, there is on our agenda a motion to accept the proposal from HRG Engineers for engineering services. I would accept a motion and then open a discussion.
So moved.
Can somebody read the motion?
Yeah, I'll read it.
Thanks.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, there's a motion on the floor to accept the proposal from the HRG Engineers for engineering services for Rhodes Avenue landslide rehab Phase 2 with design and bid fees at $14,250 and construction administration fees estimated at $5,000. I believe there's some discussion warranted. Gwen?
So Tim and Dan from our engineering firm walked the roads just to kind of firm up what the plan would be for this project. And there are a couple recommendations. Rhodes Avenue, they're recommending a fog seal, which is a tar and chip kind of coat that was done on Sweet Hedge Drive last year from Redgate to the landslide repair, and he's estimating around $4,000 is what his ballpark he thinks that might be. Then one of two options for the back half of the road. That you could mill 4.5 inches of asphalt from the back of the new pavement to the very back and pave with binder and wearing, including some widening, and that would be about, he's guessing, $66,000. Or you could only do 2.5 inches mill and pave of the asphalt in the back, the same distance and everything, it's just a different depth. And that would be around $41,000. So binder would give more strength and last longer, but is more expensive. Areas in the back that need to be widened would require stone binder and wearing in either situation. There's about $30,000 left in the grant and $10,000 give back from the prior contract to you. So we had $40,000 ready to go for this road. And then we do have some in the money in the capital improvements fund. If you wanted to go for the thicker mill and pave, that wouldn't be a hit on that budget. That would be, there's room for that.
Discussion?
So we have 40,000 gross minus the 14,2 and the 5?
Well, that has to come from the capital improvements. The grant really doesn't allow for engineering costs.
But
to be
in
covered.
essence,
Yes.
so we really have 20.
So we really have 20. So it would be 40 from capital improvement if we did the deeper milling.
Is there a baseline, how long, they said it'll last longer, but what's the base, do we know how long and is it based on like traffic pattern? Or would it be based on some just aging, right, like over time?
I think it's both.
Yeah,
This is a dead-end road, so there's not through traffic on
It's
this
a
road.
road, yes.
So and this is I think there are 5 houses from this point back. It does have a full-size garbage truck go on it once a week. So, I mean, there is some weight and some consistent, and some of the people who live back there drive a lot and have teenagers who drive a lot. So there is, 5 houses, you think 5 trips a day, it's not, it's more than
Sure.
that. But it is a lower volume road.
What was HRG's recommendation?
I don't know the answer to that question. And I don't know that, well, I mean, I guess you could have the discussion and you can tell me where you're leaning, but just to be clear, the motion that you're voting on is to approve him to go for designing this. So if you want some more information, that can just be given to him at a later date.
Right.
It's $20,000 swing, which is not a huge budget hit for this budget account.
If I recall, when we do the road reserve study every 5 years, we use 20-year life, just across
Oh,
the
yeah.
board.
Okay, so we can go forward with this motion to pay for the engineering, propose of the engineering.
And then you can just
Okay.
decide, or if you have any questions, and just let me know how to tell him to design it. Or I think he could probably bid it both ways, and you can see what the price is and decide what you wanna do that way.
At a future date.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there any further discussion of this motion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Communication, Gwen,
No report.
planning and zoning?
Based on the conversation, and this might have been my report last month, based on the conversation that Gail presented about the AI warehouses and some tweaks of our zoning ordinance in Saldo that it might be time for, I have yet to set it up, but I need to schedule a meeting with Anna and with Laura, our consultant at HRG, to just get started, compare lists, and get our big list, our master list going. So we're gonna get that scheduled in the next month.
So we are moving forward. Our tax collector, Clayton, welcome.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
You should have in your packets the February 2026 financial numbers. As you can see, we ended up collecting a total of $192,897.58 in total taxes. On pages 3 and 4 of your packet, you can kind of see the comparison from February 2026 to February 2025, but then also to the year-to-date budget. Obviously, we're still in the beginning of the year, so we've got a ways to go here with all of that. And you can also see the 2025 numbers for comparison as well with all of that. As far as our ending account balances, PNC checking account has $747,870.61. And then we have our investment accounts. The state fund or liquid fuels is $64,137.51. Our general investment has $1,380,579.14. Our reserve fund has $133,127.52. Our capital improvement fund has $1,123,660.28. Add that all up. Subtract out the pledged funds, the targeted funds, we have a net operating funds of $2,128,449.75. And then our account balances for the sewer bond account is at $751,880.16. And the stormwater account is at $129,379.79. Any questions?
Yeah, what were the last three numbers on the storm drain?
On the storm drain, it was $129,379.79.
Maybe for both you and Gwen, have the roads, avenues, checks cleared? Are they in the,
The payments that we have
have they hit
made,
the financial reports?
I want to say they did.
I feel like they did, right?
Yeah, I think they
The
did.
400 was the one that was outstanding.
Yes.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
that cleared.
And we took that from capital improvements, general fund, and stormwater?
I
Yes.
believe so, yep.
Good.
Well, thank you.
Thank
Thank you,
Thank you very
Clayton,
much.
as always.
I move to approve the February bill list in the amount of $42,495.44, to ratify February prepaid bills in the amount of $11,826.62, and to ratify the February payroll transfers in the amount of $23,261.28.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
I move to transfer $4,163.40 from the liquid fuels fund to the general fund for the payment of road salt invoices.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
I move to transfer $1,969.54 from the liquid fuels fund to the general fund for the payment of road salt invoices.
Can we put those together, all the road salt?
I move to transfer $6,041.09 from the liquid fuels fund to the general fund for the payment of road salt invoices. I move to transfer $2,131.16 from the liquid fuels fund to the general fund for the payment of road salt invoices.
May I have a second?
Second.
Is that second to all three motions?
Yes.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Those three motions carry. Aleppo Township Authority,
No report.
Quaker Valley Ambulance Authority, there's no report. Quaker Valley COG, sir.
No report, but I call your attention to the article in the newspaper, our newspaper, on the hiring of a new executive director. And she's a very, very competent and experienced person. Harkins is her last name, and she has started about 2 weeks ago.
Where did she come from?
Hmm?
Where did she come from?
She came from quite a number of places, actually. But
I think she's a Pittsburgh native, but has been in like Colorado or something, somewhere out west for,
Montana.
okay, yeah, somewhere for
Billings.
15 years, but
Billings,
is
yeah.
back over here.
So she hasn't been recently local.
No, back maybe for a year or so, I'm not sure, but yeah.
Did we, was there an expiration date through I assume we buy our salt through the Quaker Valley COG?
I'm sorry, what?
We buy our salt through the Quaker Valley COG?
We use Shaycog,
Oh, we are, okay.
South Hills Area Council
Yeah.
of Governments, so we are in that purchasing group, and so that is a contract, it's usually, I think it's a 3-year contract, I think it's 3 years this time. With Cargill, it was sometimes longer. So we're with a new, Compass is our first year with this, or first year with Compass, this new bidder.
Did we need any, was this at this training?
I don't think so. I mean, we have to
You
put in
talking
an
about the
estimate
county?
every year.
I don't know. They were
I think you're talking about the county.
Yeah, they were saying like you have to have,
I think he's talking about the emergency shore up.
Well, yeah, so there was,
Yeah.
because a bunch of barges were stuck in the ice, and so people
Yeah.
were going
Yeah, that's
without.
the county.
yeah, I don't know. It wasn't talking about emergency, but that's okay. So we think we have the salt that we need and we're not gonna be paying for storage because we didn't take it or something.
That is always a possibility at the end of the year. I think we've already ordered our max for this year,
Okay.
or, our estimate amount.
Yeah.
In past years with milder winters, we have had to pay a small storage fee at the end of the year
Okay.
to Cargill, the old contractor.
Yeah.
And it never amounted to too terribly much, so it was worth it for us to just pay it then
Okay.
rather than take the fee for not doing it.
Yeah.
But this year, we've used more this year, so
Sure.
I think we're good.
Solicitor,
I will save mine for executive session.
unfinished business. I believe we have Mr. Tim Kelly here to speak.
Greetings all. Thank you for allowing me to come back in regard to community solar. Gwen brought to my attention your discussion that was videotaped recently. I have 3 points I want to make just to open. The first one is in regard to Judy's comment that we don't have any of these here that we can draw from. And basically, yes, we have no bananas. Basically, HB 504 is the starting gun for development of community solar. I had lunch on Saturday with an old friend who you may be familiar with, Greg Winks from Infinity Solar. Greg's sense is if HB 504 were to pass, you start to see developers working to create solar farms for this specific purpose. As far as it being within the township, my understanding is it doesn't necessarily have to be within Aleppo. It would have to be in the DLC territory because they're the ones that would be distributing the power and making the agreement with the developer or
I'm
the
sorry, you just said
administrator.
Duquesne Light?
Hmm?
Yeah.
Did you say the territory is Duquesne Light?
Yes, yeah. They would have to be making the agreement in order to modify people's power bills give them the discount. The second is, this is statewide legislation. If it passes, it would afford literally millions of people across the state the opportunity to cut their power bills by subscribing to solar. So we have to think of it, I would ask this body to think about it in that context, is this is a big deal for the entire state. And the third thing is the real why behind all this stuff, the energy transition, the EV transition, and I think, Judy, I sense that you're with me on this, is climate change, dangerous climate change. And the weather we've seen, starting for instance with April 29th of last year, and this year, the Arctic outbreaks, and the El Nino that's now forming up in the west is projected to shatter temperature records this year, later this year and into next year. This is something that we've got to get away from fossil fuels as fast as we can go. This is no joke. So I guess the time has come to ask, how do we get to a yes? What do you folks think is an adequate demonstration of community support to get a resolution on the board?
Well, I think what our policy says is that we ask for a demonstration that this request represents a need or an interest of multiple residents of the township.
Sure.
And so, if you could present to us, some type of
A petition?
participatory petition,
Got one written up.
okay? If you could present that to us with some Aleppo Township resident signatures, we can
If you got a
certainly look
number in
at
mind,
it
if you got a number in mind, 15, 20?
Gentlemen?
And Gail
What do you
Neustadt,
use, have you done this before? I
This
mean-
policy is relatively
No,
new. We've requested participation from multiple residents in the past. And when we have done that, I don't believe that anyone has brought them back to us, and the reasons that they presented, what they requested just kind of fell off because they did not represent. The other thing that we asked that for, we came up with a plausible partial fix for it. It had to do with the placement of a stop sign. And we did not receive the interest from the residents, and so it was tabled until we do. I mean, I
And
certainly-
how did you know you did not receive, how many residents?
The presenter, it was presented by one resident
Mhm.
as a need, and we asked that resident to come back to us with proof that it was an interest of more than just herself.
Oh, I remember this, yeah,
yes.
yeah.
And
did she?
that was not, no, it was not
Okay.
produced,
Okay,
and so it was tabled.
okay.
We did remove the bottom of a tree.
I
That was
remember
very
that,
easy to
yeah.
do,
Yeah, yeah,
but we
yeah.
did not move forward on the stop sign because we didn't receive any validation of any kind of interest. So, I would certainly entertain what you're thinking would meet definition of interest.
So I would let, whatever you produce, we'll take that as discretionary to the board. I think that's how I would do it. I think it depends upon the situation of the matter being discussed. It might be very important to Rhodes Avenue and 5 people, and that's all that we need. So I don't think about a fixed number would be to give it a litmus test if you get over or below a fixed number. So I think if you get, resident, I would say if somebody gets resident interest, demonstrate that, and, based on what the request is, we'll take that into consideration.
Sounds reasonable. Do you have any
Solicitor
questions?
Jewett, your associate Alex at
Mhm.
last week's meeting said that your firm has substantial knowledge of the industry.
They do, so I will have to clarify that we have such substantial knowledge that I represent personally a number of solar developers. So I have taken the position, the firm's taken a position that I do have a business conflict for the industry throughout. So if you do proceed with anything substantive on this front, I would recommend somebody else perform that work. That being said, from an informational perspective, I can certainly assist in educating on what community solar is, what it does, what the legislation would do, but I do want to make you aware of that I do have.
Yeah, I asked
Interesting
Alex
history.
with no particular rush if he could put together lay paragraphs explaining the positives and the negatives,
Certainly.
so that we have more than just one presentation and 15 signatures. We actually develop knowledge of the concept.
Sure. We can certainly provide that, like I said, with the understanding that if you did take any steps as a township specifically, I would recuse myself from that action. However, that being said, on the same topic of the policy, if I may on this front, it is, of course, entirely within the board's discretion to take any sort of affirmative step on a recommendation of legislation or against legislation at the state level. You have no real obligation to respond to it. That's not saying that they should ignore you, sir, but just saying that there isn't any sort of threshold at which you must consider a request. It is going to be entirely up to the board. The policy is there, as it is, it's a policy, it is just guidance for ways that you can make that decision. It does not bind you to following any stricture or exact parameters.
Okay.
Well, Tim, one of the questions I've had in my mind about this, you're spending a lot of energy and you're truly dedicated. I'm wondering if the time is perhaps better spent having 20 people sign a petition and taking it to your representative. We don't vote. I mean, if you came to me as a non-commissioner and asked me to sign a petition in this regard, I can make that personal decision. I'm not quite sure how it all fits together, as Commissioner Jewett just implied. Is it truly in your best interest and in our best interest to take on this with perhaps minimal effect?
I can't answer that for you, George, standing here. All I
Okay,
can say
I'm
is
just
that
thinking
the
things.
call went out earlier, late last year, for municipalities to sign on in support of the
Yeah.
bill. And I would remind people, some very large ones have, like Allegheny County and Philadelphia, City of Philadelphia,
Yeah.
representing millions, literally millions of people. So,
No, I watched
mean,
a
that's
1-hour
how-
presentation on YouTube today about community solar. It was quite well done, quite professional. It was based in Oregon. And I learned about 95% of what I'd like to know,
mhm,
and there's about 5% that I still don't know.
mhm. Well, if you submit what you don't know to me, I can relay it to Ellen at Vote Solar and maybe get some more answers for you.
Good.
Okay? So, I'm just following Third Act Pennsylvania's involved with this, and I'm sure that other groups like Penn Future and Penn Environment are working to get this through the state senate, where it's bottled up right now. So, I can't give you a straight answer on that, I'm just doing what I can as a mortal human. They'll get a copy. If you were to come across with develop a resolution and publish it, I'm sure that Valerie's office would get a copy.
Right.
That's Elwin's, as well as the Senate and the House leadership, that's where it's supposed to go to.
Good.
So, it's the best I can tell you right now.
Okay. Bring us what you're able to muster, and we will put it on the agenda, have a discussion, and make a decision.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Sure.
Thank you.
Thank you for your energy. Okay, new business, Earth Day cleanup, which is a first or at least second love of Gwen's. So I'll let her do the announcement. Gwen and Tim are always into garbage collection and egg
Hold it
rolls.
down now.
Don't cheer too loud. So that every year for the last bunch of years, the scientific number, I can't remember how many years we've been doing it. It's a community event, so volunteers come, staff comes, sometimes commissioners come, and treasurers often come to work the roadside cleanup event. So we gather here at 9 a.m. on a Saturday and have donuts and coffee, and then everybody gets grabbers and trash bags and gloves and vests and we spread out over a couple township roads and even a little portion of Glenfield by the exit off of 79 because it's very visible. So, and that always needs attention. And so it's just a fun day of picking up garbage. And we have
See
shuttle.
what I mean? See what Glenn talks about?
We have 3 trucks out, so there's a shuttle going up and down the hill. So if you start at the top and you walk down Deer Run, you do not have to walk back up Deer Run. Trucks will pick you up and drive you back up the hill. So don't let that hill scare you. And
Who
it's
drives
just,
the shuttle, Gwen?
I drive the shuttle, George, and Tim and Trevor. So
And
yeah,
counts the bags.
we count the
And-
bags,
and
we take
gives a report.
pictures.
There's a lot of responsibility that goes with it.
So it actually, you know, me, might roll their eyes every once in a while about having to do it, and then when I get here, I think it's really great fun. I mean, it is actually a fun day. So all are welcome. All are welcome to come and stay for an hour or 2 hours. We're usually done and packing up by 12. The volunteers go home at 12, and we are done and out of here by 1 with the cleanup part. So it's a nice day. We haven't picked a rain date yet, but if there's gonna be a really big storm, we usually reschedule. If it's misty, we go out. And so you don't have to register, but it always lets us, it's nice if people say that they're gonna come, so we make sure we have enough supplies, but all are welcome, and
There's some donuts.
that's when it's scheduled to be.
That was me not ignoring you, I was putting it in my calendar.
It's like boring, yeah.
Is that Earth Day, that day?
Earth Day is actually the 22nd, so we just pick a weekend close to the official Earth Day.
NFL draft day, just FYI.
Is it really?
That whole weekend.
Well, see, you don't wanna be downtown anyway, you wanna be here in Aleppo, in
What's
the
happening,
suburbs.
what's happening
The
down
NFL
here?
draft.
Oh,
That whole weekend.
You wanna stay away from any
Yeah.
But
activities downtown.
we may wanna collect garbage after the NFL
yeah,
draft.
oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Great, great.
Okay, Swickley Memorial Day Parade. We have a request for a donation to the Swickley War Memorial Parade. Just historically, distally, 2022 and before, we have donated. Since 2022, we have not, with the thought that we kind of can't donate to one and not the other, and that the Swickley Parade doesn't directly affect Aleppo residents, and we would be requested to donate to any number of different parades, functions, events, whatever. But I would certainly entertain discussion.
Well, I guess I think the Sewickley Memorial Day Parade is really important, and it would be an honor to be part of it. To say that it doesn't affect Aleppo Township residents, I think everybody goes down to that. You know, that's kind of a stretch. Yeah, but I do get your point about if we give to one, we have to give to them all. But what other parades are there other than Leetsdale?
Well, there's the Leetsdale Parade, then there's the Leetsdale Fair, there's, what else does Swickley collect for?
Halloween parade or something.
Yeah,
Santa, if I could comment, I would say that to the public, they're more than welcome to donate. And Gwen would have the information if they want to call and find the email address or the phone number here. If they'd like to donate, you know, directly to the Memorial Day Parade, they're certainly welcome.
okay, there's also an invitation from the same to anyone that would want to register to walk in the parade. That's also an option.
Francis, you could make a motion
For what?
Yeah, well, I'm not
to make a contribution.
Yeah, I'm not sure that there's a huge objection. I'm
Oh,
just
okay.
sharing the history. I'm
Okay.
just
Oh,
sharing,
okay.
I'm just sharing
Well,
history.
we'll make a motion that we give a small donation from the
Pick a number.
$100. Is that too small, too large?
Happens to be
I
one of
believe
the,
there's three.
it's on there.
Yeah, there's
Five,
three. There's
$250 and
$100
$100.
lead freedom ring, $250 red, white, and blue, and 500 stars and stripes forever sponsors.
Did anybody second the $100 motion?
Is there a second for the $100?
I'll second it.
Okay, Stuart, we have a second. Is there any further discussion?
Where would we, these kind of funds, where would they come from? Where would
General
we?
fund.
General fund,
Just from a general fund, we don't have a
no.
Yeah,
account,
look up the
accounted
general
for it,
fund.
okay.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay, motion carries.
You handled your first.
Oh,
Very, very
B,
well.
well, thank you.
You've turned the board.
Absolutely.
Democracy in action.
Alert the media. Thank you, Francis. Okay, Gwen. Is there any citizen participation, Dave? That's you in the corner. There you go. There is not. Any from you, Gwen?
I don't have any.
Okay. There is a requirement for an executive session to discuss a potential contractual agreement. And we will go into executive session as soon as Dave tells us it can be done. Returning from executive session, if there's no other comments, discussion, we would adjourn the Aleppo Commissioners meeting at 8 PM. Everyone have a good evening.